Good morning. Today we will see the paleontological evidence. So firstly we should know what is a paleontology. It is a branch of biology that deals with the study of a fossil. All of you are familiar with the fossil. What is a fossil? Anything that has been excavated from the earth, that is nothing but the fossil. Or we can make the definition of a fossil that the imprints of a nature in the womb of the earth, that is also called as the fossil. How the fossil formation takes place? Firstly we should know, before going through the paleontological evidence, how the fossils are formed. Before millions of years ago, whenever the dead plants and animal, when they got buried deep inside the soil, then because of the tremendous pressure from the outside and the temperature from the inside of the earth, these dead plants and animal, they get converted into the rocky mass or a rocky material, and their imprints, they remain as it is in the form of rocks, and these are nothing but the fossil. Whenever we are studying the evidences about the evolution, then these paleontological evidences, they play a very important role. And in the excavation of the earth, when we excavate the earth, then we will find the different layers on the earth, and at the highest depth inside the bowels of the earth, we had find the fossils of the snail and starfish like animals, and these are nothing but the invertebrates. Means the fossils of the invertebrates that we had find at the highest depth inside the bowel of the earth. Above this, the another layer of the. Good morning. Today we will see the paleontological evidence. So firstly we should know what is a paleontology. Paleontology is the branch of biology that deals with the study of a fossil. And what are the fossils? Fossils are nothing but the imprints of a nature in the womb of the earth. Or we can say that anything that has been excavated from the earth, that is nothing but the fossil. How this fossil formation takes place? Before a long ago, millions of years ago, whenever the dead plants and animal, when they got buried deep inside the soil, then because of the tremendous pressure from the outside and the temperature from the inside of the earth, these dead plant and animal, they get converted into the rocky material, and their imprints, they remain as it is inside the earth, and that is nothing but the fossil. Whenever we study the fossil, we can find that these fossils are those animals which were in the form of a fossil, in which era or in which period they were present on the earth. The classic example of the fossil is that is the dinosaurs. We say that the dinosaurs, they were present in the Jurassic period. Before 3.5 million years ago, the dinosaurs were present on the earth, and this postulate we can tell because of the fossil record, or by studying the fossil. So in this way, this paleontology, it plays a very important role as far as the theory of evolution has been concerned. So whenever we excavate the earth, then we will find at the highest depth inside the bowel of the earth, at the highest depth, we have find the fossils of the starfish and the snail-like animals. Starfish and snail-like animal. What are these starfish and snail? They belong to the invertebrates. They belong to the invertebrates. Above this layer, we had find the fossils of the fishes. And fishes, above the fishes, we find the fossils of the another animals, like to that of the frog and some other amphibians. And this frog, it belongs to the amphibia. above this layer where we find the fossils of the frog and other amphibians, we had find the fossils of some other animals like the snake and dinosaurs. Snake and dinosaur, and we know that snake belongs to which class? That is the reptiles. Dinosaur is also a reptile. Then above this we had find at the uppermost layer of the earth. During the excavation, we find the fossils of the rabbit and bird-like animals, and this rabbit, it belongs to the mammal, and bird, it belongs to birds or the aves. Okay, so in this way we had find the fossils. So as we find the fossils of the starfish or invertebrate at the highest depth, then from this we can say that these starfish or the invertebrates, they might have originated on the earth for the first time. And above this, the fossils of the fishes are present, so that from the invertebrates, the fishes or the fish-like animal, they might have been evolved. As above the fishes, we find the fossils of the amphibians. We can easily say that from the fishes, the amphibians, they might have been evolved. Above this, we find the fossils of the dinosaurs and the snake-like reptiles, so that we can say that from the amphibians, the snake-like animals or the reptiles, they might have been evolved. And at the uppermost layer of the earth, we have find the fossils of the mammals as well as the birds, so that we can say that from the reptiles, the birds and mammals, they might have been evolved. There are two evolutionary lines, which can one evolutionary line predict that from the reptiles the birds are evolved, and the mammals, they are the highly evolved animals on the earth. And another evolutionary line, it tells us that birds are highly evolved because there are certain characters which are present in the bird which are well adapted for the aerial mode of life, and such a character, they are not present in the human being. No doubt birds as well as the mammals, both are the warm-blooded animal, both they shows many adaptations, but there is a contradiction about that evolution of the mammals as well as the birds. Anyways, so as we see the fossils of the different animal at different depth, we can say that by studying the carbon content in this fossil, we can predict that the frog, fishes and starfish, the fossils of these, they are found from the Paleozoic era. Now, what is the Paleozoic era? This is an era which is nearly about 541 to 251 million years ago. So, before this period, or in this period, in a Paleozoic period or Paleozoic era, the animals like invertebrates, fishes and frogs, they might have been evolved. Understand? Above this, we find the fossils of the reptiles, that is the snake and dinosaurs like animal, and this period, it is called as the Mesozoic era. It is called as a Mesozoic era, and this era, it is nearly about 180 million years ago. Means we can easily say that before 180 million years ago, the snakes and dinosaurs like reptiles, they might have been evolved. And at the upper layer, that is in the Cenozoic era, which measures about 66 million years ago, the mammals and birds, they might have been evolved on our earth. So in this way, by studying the fossils or paleontological evidences, we can say that the invertebrates, they resides or originate evolved first. After the invertebrate, from the invertebrate, the fishes or the pisces, they might have been evolved. From the pisces, the amphibians are evolved. From the amphibians, reptiles, and lastly the mammals and the birds. So we can say that mammals are the highly evolved organisms on our earth. So how can we say that it is a Paleozoic era or Mesozoic and Cenozoic? And for this purpose, we are using the carbon dating method. As far as our exam is concerned, this carbon dating method, it plays a very important role, and the credit for this carbon dating method, it goes to the scientist, that is Willard Libby, and he has been awarded a Nobel Prize for this discovery in the year 1960. Now, what is the carbon dating method? Students, as far as our exam is concerned, this carbon dating method, it is very important, so we should understand it well. What happens in the body of every living organism? Carbon is present. Carbon is one of the most important component of all the organic compound. So this carbon, okay, and this carbon is present inside our body. Whenever we are the living organism, the decomposition of a body does not take place. Okay, so this carbon, it remains as it is. But whenever we become dead, or death of the plant or animal, it occur, at that time this carbon, it is in our body, it is in the form of its isotope. So there are two types of carbon are present, that is the carbon 12 and carbon 14. What is the carbon 12? C12. 12 means what? What is the atomic mass number of a carbon? 12 is the atomic mass number of a carbon. Atomic number is 6 and atomic mass number is 12. So this is one carbon, and its isotope is also present in our body, that is carbon 14. What is the isotope? The atoms of the same element which is having the same atomic number but different atomic mass number. So here the carbon 14 is present. This carbon 12 is a non-radioactive. So if the organism become dead, the carbon content or carbon 12 content in our body, it remain as it is. It is preserved as it is in a rocky mass or in the form of a fossil. But this carbon 14, it is a radioactive carbon. So it undergoes a decomposition or it undergoes the decay. So as the organism become dead, at that time this carbon 14, it starts to decompose. It starts to decompose and it is having the half-life period. Carbon is having the half-life period that is about 5,736 years. It is the half-life period of carbon. You might have studied in a science 1. Okay, so it undergoes a decomposition. So whenever we are studying the fossil, at that time, if we measure the carbon 14 content and carbon 12 content of the fossil, then we can easily find the age of that animal which was present on the earth for that time period, and it is nothing but the carbon dating method. Nowadays this method is also used in CID or a criminal department. You can also see on that crime diary or any other whenever the accidental or any death occur, then we can easily find that at what time the death was occurred, and this is also by using the carbon dating method somehow. So in this way, paleontological evidences, they plays a very important role in finding the evolution or in finding the how the organisms they are evolved on the earth. Thank you.